They're the only thing that stop the choking. So
See,
there you go.
I forgot.
Ready to
I forgot
go.
to go live. You know, we're live now. So as
Okay.
our friends touch
Hello,
in the comments.
everybody.
Hello, everybody. Who is
Hello,
here?
hello, hello.
Please drop us a
Who
comment.
is here?
Yes, we shall know you are
Yeah, it's
here.
funny, isn't it? The only way we know is in the comment. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you have to comment, otherwise I don't know.
LinkedIn is saying starting soon. That's really annoying. LinkedIn, hurry up and start. We started. We're alive. We're going. Right. Okay. I see. Is that in the description? Yeah. Okay. I think it looks weird to me because we've done this the back way round. When normally we do our events on StreamYard, now we've done this event on LinkedIn and then put it on StreamYard. Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. Let's see how it works.
Sorry, I complicated things by being helpful.
Maybe I'm too slow. That's more what it says, Paulette. It says I'm too slow.
No,
So
I think you wanted to be nice and clean. That's what it was. It was all about being clean and me being slow.
I'm not waiting for him to
well,
because
today is I won't start until you tell me to start. But I've got lots of info that I want to tell you about. Not like a story, but kind of a story. So I've got lots of things I'd like to impart, but I don't want to do it until ready to go.
Kim, you found your way. So you're alive from LinkedIn.
Kim.
Welcome. I'm still not live yet, by the way. I don't know why. I'm just my LinkedIn page is saying weirdism. And my other LinkedIn page is just spinning. So my internet's not fixed yet for that. Very frustrated. Very frustrated. But give us a couple more minutes, Kim. I said give us a few more minutes, and then we shall begin the conversation that Paulette wants to have.
I wish I could sing to you or keep you busy, entertained, but I can't, so I won't.
Are you sure?
I'll have no voice. It'll be awful. Yeah, really.
You sing so beautifully.
It'll be. I sound like Louis Armstrong in my ears. I've got trees of green, yeah, roses too.
Stop it! Stop it! You make me laugh too much. I don't deserve to laugh so much. It feels mean. But
no, I laugh daily, hourly. I laugh at myself. I laugh at other people. I laugh with people. So laughter is, to me, the most important thing in the world. So thank goodness for it.
I agree. It brings joy to us, and I think having that joy brings more good things. That's what I've learned recently. And I've got an event after this.
I've hidden things in Ben's underpants. This will make you laugh. I've hidden things in Ben's underpants to find this term as he goes through his underpants. And I've written on one, there's a little post-it note, and it says, if you've reached this point, you need to do some washing. You've only got 4 pairs left. It just makes me laugh. And I think, well, maybe he'll do it out of order and just pull a pair out he likes. And it won't be funny, but had he done it in order,
whenever he finds the notes, I'm sure he'll still laugh. It's still funny.
Yeah, or he'll just go, "That's my mother.
Yeah,
that's my nutty mother for you." Yeah. I know that's what he thinks. So yeah,
that's love. That's love for you. He said, "No, this morning,
absolutely.
I was doing work this morning, having a peaceful any day, any morning. I learned to go to sleep last night. In case you wonder why you didn't see me, Michelle, welcome, Michelle's. I'll put you on screen in a second. And I'm sleeping. Do I get up? It's 8 o'clock. Do I get up? I don't get up before 12, right? So do I play my game? Suddenly, door opens, and the son says, "Dad, are you drunk?" I'm like, "No." Sadly, I'm late. I missed the bus for school. I'm like, "Oh, great. Okay, get up." So you got to take me to school. Thanks. That came again. Thank you. You know, and that's my school run. That's my
And I
school.
just written him the voucher because he was the winner.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Well, no, and it's got GCSEs today as well. You know,
oh, okay. Well, then you wants to be on time.
on on decorating finally. On decorating or decorating?
I
Oh,
think
Christmas.
undecorating. Fine. I mean,
Yeah,
it's finished. It's done.
yes, yes. No, but my
It's
house says
done.
Christmas stuff as
Hi,
well, but
Michelle.
we're eating everything. That's me and Kobe's job primarily. So Kim again. You know, Paulette's always funny.
Oh, I've
Paulette is.
got a shelf full of stuff. Hi, Michelle from Nevada.
Have you
Stay
eaten all the? Have
safe
you
out
eaten all the
there.
goodies? Have you eaten the goodies, or are they still there?
No, there's a pile of them on the side because I can't taste anything. There's no fun in
Hmm,
food anymore. It's funny, isn't it?
really? You
Like
can't taste it.
Charles is,
You can't smell food. No, maybe you can't smell food because of your illness.
you smell or taste. Basically, it's the whole. Like years ago, if you said to me pickled onion, you get this sort of like saliva in the back of your throat because of the thought of a pickled onion or a gherkin. Oh, and vinegar. I get
Yeah,
nothing. It's like they ask the question every 3 months. Pickled onions, gherkins. You're like, can you not be a bit more original? Pickled walnuts.
your taste will come back here. Pickled walnuts. Why are you looking at me, cat?
Not
What
for
do you want?
years. In 2 years, Annie. 2
Really?
years.
Hmm. That's been
They're still
concerning.
studying. They're studying me at UCL, and they're saying they still could come back, but,
As
you know,
Michelle
it's
says,
hard.
was it
Yeah.
COVID related?
Yeah, it was COVID.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was very ill. They really didn't think I was gonna make it as a baddie. COVID's been for people that got it really bad. I mean, thankfully that I wasn't on a ventilator or anything like that because by then they knew not to do it. But yeah, it was touch and go. So I'm like, I'll give up my taste of food and smell to be here with you guys. So there you are. You see, small measures I give up quite happily.
You are the star. Then I'm always amazed how COVID is still hanging around. You know, I say that
And
because of
people
probably like
don't take it seriously because, yeah, people don't
it's still
take it seriously anymore. But
it's still there.
well, I think I've had eight injections now. God help me. Um, but you know,
What
I just say yes to everything.
vaccination ones?
Yeah.
They're jabbing
The
you.
only one they can't give me pneumonia. They can't give me pneumonia vaccine because
Okay.
my low immune system would mean they'd be giving me a live vaccine, which means they'd be giving me pneumonia, and that could
Mm,
then become something of a problem. So yeah, the only one I don't have is pneumonia, but I have the flu and COVID
okay.
jabs like
Okay.
three, four times a year.
It's not COVID vaccinations. It's just vaccinations for all the things that they vaccinate people for that you're
Yeah,
getting, right?
and COVID. And whatever COVID strains they've come across. They use me as a guinea pig. They go, "Just stick another needle in her, she don't care." She just
Yeah.
smiles, you know?
I,
I'm really
I've,
good with
I've,
it. I just like
I've been running around the room. You know, each time they threaten me with the
yeah.
needle, I'm like, no, catch me first. I hate.
The
I hate.
funniest one last time was I said, "Shouldn't Charles have one as my carer?" And Charles is sitting there going
No,
and I'm like,
leave me
"What's
alone.
that face
Leave me
mean?"
alone. I don't blame him. I don't
He
blame him.
literally legged it. He said he had to
Mm.
go and buy some milk.
Yeah. I'm totally with him. So I can't log into LinkedIn. That's so annoying.
You men, honestly.
Now needles. Oh, no, let's not talk about needles for that. No, it might break my arm. You never know. That's it. I see Michelle saying I hate needles. I don't blame you. You know, really, I hate needles.
Yeah.
Truly. All
Yeah,
right. Should we
Charles
play your
literally
Should we play your video, Jack and Water video?
please, yeah, that might give your LinkedIn a chance to join on.
It seems to be worse this time of day, which is why I called them yesterday. But let's not worry about that. Let's watch the Jack and Water video. that we showed yesterday. And then go and buy the book, my friends. We didn't say that enough yesterday. Please go and buy the book set. If you bought one, buy the second one, the third one. If you haven't bought any of them, buy them. If you bought all of them, buy another set. Let's go for that. 3 minutes.
Give it to a library. Libraries do not have people. They don't have the budget to buy books. So if you can buy a book for a library, it'd be amazing.
Truly, truly. My friends, 3 minutes of fun created by our beloved Cyrus. Let's you cough in peace as well for that.
I wake up to the morning light, nervous butterflies in flight. First day at school, a brand new place. Jelly belly worries I can't erase. Mom says, be brave, but I'm not sure what's behind that classroom door. Walter whispers, stand up tall. You've got this, kid, just give it your all. So I smile, I stand, I walk like I'm strong. Even though I'm wobbly, I play along. On the buddy bench, there's room for two, and maybe I'll find a friend like you. Be brave, stand tall, that's all it takes. Even a shy kid can catch a break. I sit alone, hands in my coat, holding Walter's card like a secret note. Be brave, it says, and be strong too. But my tummy's all gray, no yellow or blue. Then a boy shows up with a grin so wide, says, hi, I'm Henry, can I sit by your side? Watch it crunch and we start to joke. That's the moment the ice finally broke. So I smile, I stand, I walk like I'm strong. Even though I'm wobbly, I play along. On the buddy bench, there's room for two, and maybe I'll find a friend like you. Be brave, stand tall, that's all it takes. Even a shy kid can catch a break. It's okay to feel a little small, like a basketball player afraid to fall. Walter said, put your smile in place. Courage can show on your happy face. And step by step, I start to see I'm not so alone with Henry and me. So I smile, I stand, I walk like I'm strong. Even though I'm wobbly, I play along. On the buddy bench, there's room for two, and maybe I'll find a friend like you. Be brave, stand tall, that's all it takes. Even a shy kid can catch a break. Now I've got Henry and Walter too. Turns out being brave brings something new. First days are tough, but I made it through. And maybe the buddy bench can work for you.
Whisper Boy. Did you ever get tired of watching that video, Paulette?
Nope.
Ooh.
Not gonna lie. Nope.
You can watch it all day long, right?
I have. I do. And the Carol's one with the cartoon as well. It's just bringing things to life that are in your head and now on a piece of paper or online, and now they're in books, and now they're, it's just wonderful feeling to actually see your head on a bit of paper that's become a film, that's become a, it's just magical feelings.
It's the magic of being an author, I guess. Taking an idea from your thoughts into a book on people's tables. It's something that is magical. The first time I see any of our books, I would not just yours, any of the books that we work on, I'm always truly amazed. I'm always like, wow. Some authors like, I'm like, no, perk up and celebrate. Even if it's not perfect, I'm saying celebrate. Let's start there, right? Let's start there.
Yeah, but it's even more than that. It's your imagination becoming into actual physical form in the form of a book or an ebook or whatever, and then or an Audible or whatever it becomes, and then it becomes, you know, a video, then it becomes like a little film, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, where did this all happen? And other people's interpretations of your work is lovely because
Yeah,
everyone
and then
puts their own.
their own take. You know, then it becomes events like this as
Yeah,
well. That's a good thing, right? You know, it becomes
of
events like
course.
this,
Thank you.
I guess. And
Yes, thank you.
in our conversation today, these then become the stories that we tell our kids. You know, that's the dream. That is the magic. Richard, welcome to Go
Yeah.
Brunch. Glad you're here. Great to see you. Michelle says Cyrus with
Hi,
music. You know,
Richard.
Cyrus music, you know, it is, you know, it's different. It's different but the same. I know what I mean. You know what I mean as well, Paul. It's
Yeah.
different, but it's the same.
Yeah, I
You know,
do.
Cyrus,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's a skill.
His
And as I say,
his lyric writing is excellent. Yeah.
no, we don't help him at all. We don't give him nothing apart from the manuscript and say, there you go, you run with that. You know, and you know, he asked me, well, what do you think? I'm like, nah, I have no idea. I'm just me, right? I'm not creative.
I actually, on this one, did a little bit. I said, please, can it be a man's voice? Because I
Right.
wanted a sort of a sort of what you would know, I say Blue Peter, but a kind of a male happy person who's
Mm,
helping kids, and it's always a woman. So I thought, no, let's have a man because I think it's
mm,
really important that we have a man. Um, and it's also because dads and just because of lots of reasons. And he was like, okay, whatever you want, and then bang, there it is, and you think that's what I wanted. So yeah, he got in my head. So it's a very strange place to be, but I was glad he got there. So shall we start officially now?
Jeannie, welcome. Said my friend
Hi,
Linda.
Jeannie.
Yeah, Jeannie, which video do you
Linda.
want? You want the link to the video I just showed? I'm sure I think Paula's done a post about the video, so you know it is.
It's on
You know,
my yeah.
the water. I want to be a little bottle of the
Yes.
water. I'm still waiting, Paulette, for my water. One day, right?
Do you know
It's all right.
it's such a stupid amount of money, Annie. They want like nearly £50, $50 to get it as is. And then you can then go out to Etsy and mass market to the Far East. But initially I'm like, let's keep it as a card that is an equal for everybody. So everybody is the same. No one can have it and some don't. So
especially if you buy the book, it's definitely there. The water card is there. That's the easiest place to get the
yeah,
water
yeah.
card.
It's online too. It's on the website. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about the mugs. I love the idea of William's mugs where water appears. You know, like you put a drink in it and then water appears. That would be good. Or
Let's do
something
it.
like a CJ came up with a squidgy that's got Walter's face on it that you can squeege. Yeah, I mean, there are ideas that I could use. Yeah, a squidgy, you know what I mean, don't you?
I know what you mean. The stress balls, right? You know,
Like a stress ball, but made sort of in a potato shape with water on it, yeah. And then you could just squeeze him when you feel like you need him. But I don't know if I'm happy with being squeezed. I don't know. I'm thinking about that one. I'm still.
You never know, and you never feel it. It's all right. Just know that you're doing people good. Every time they squeeze your head.
That's all that matters is that people get something from it. That's right. Absolutely. So I'm going to start talking predominantly about story time. And please, I don't want anyone to think I'm saying that you're right or wrong, that whether you did or didn't do these things. But reading to children is so powerful, so simple, and yet so misunderstood. So the astonishing benefits for children: comforted, reassurance, confidence, security, relaxation, happiness, and fun all come from reading stories. As well as your full attention. Now, how many times, jokingly, do we see little videos of kids knocking the phones out of their parents' hands because they're not getting their full attention? Story time is full attention time. You are there, sat with your child with the book or books or children's. It builds self-esteem, it builds vocabulary, it feeds their imagination, it improves their sleeping patterns. I did some research in one of my books, and in 2019, there was a study where it said 50% of parents didn't read to their children before the age of 4 or 5. And again, fewer than 50%. It didn't say the exact number. I think it was somewhere between 44 and 45. Say that once a child reaches 4 to 6, they would spend a bit of time reading, but not as much as you'd hope. But by the time they'd reached 5 to 7, which is a critical age, it would be down to 34%. Now, some children can read for themselves, so parents might think that that is a really good reason for them not to do it. But regularly reading to your child gets them to love stories and books, keeping any in business. It's a connection between parents and children. And from very early days, that connection is so important. I don't expect everybody to do the voices and everything, but you can get something from just hearing the same story over and over again, whether you're using a physical book or a tablet. It doesn't matter as long as it's repetitive and they're hearing it on a regular basis. The earlier the reading bond starts, the deeper the family tie. Evidence proven. For your references from your stories, you use them in your daily chatter. So for an example, if Ben used to say, "Can I have another chocolate biscuit?" And I used to say, "Oh, you really are the hungry caterpillar today," and he would laugh when he was little. "Oh yeah, I'm the hungry caterpillar. I'm going to eat and eat and explode and become a butterfly, ha ha, just hand the biscuit over." But you would make the joke. You'd bring your references from your books into your home world. And it becomes sometimes playful nicknames and things like that. Families who read together have more opportunities for discussion, developing empathy and attachment. Now that's key. That's a biggie, that one. You're creating a lifelong love of reading for pleasure. Now, reading for pleasure is something that if you do it, you know what it is. It's different from watching a film because they've done the work for you. It's different from anything else. When you've got a book or an audio or even an audible, you're having to use your imagination. And even though you can have descriptive writing, a lot of it's left to you. So not only are you developing attachments to the characters, but you feel empathy. You feel all the emotions. But empathy and attachment become quite important. So if you get attached to a character, the last thing you want is anything to happen to them. When you're hoping that, somebody's going to escape from a problem, you're showing huge power in that connection between you and that character. You're desperate for them to run away or find food if it's an adventure where they're starving and there's been a plane crash or something awful and people are looking for food. You're willing them along, and that's real connection. creating a lifelong love of reading, as I said, for pleasure, also can give you positive outcomes for future years and academia. So if you've really got into the reading, and then you've got into reading on your own, when you start to go off to college and you're suddenly faced with these big old books and you've got to look up information, if you haven't had that experience of reading, it's really going to find it tough. So I think reading helps prepare you for your future studies. It's a big old brave statement for me to make there, but it's a big jump from I appreciate this to Ben's medical journals, but actually it isn't, because it is that sitting down and reading is very hard for a lot of people to do. We used to improve vocabulary, but also as just to pass the time of day in the car. We used to play a game where you had to rhyme with the next person's word and you couldn't repeat. So somebody would start with box and then you'd go to fox and then cox, and then Ben would say locks and then socks and then blocks, and Charles, my husband, would come out with something like orthodox. And I was like, there's no way we're having that in the story. And then we'd stop and we had to join up how the box was found, and there was a fox in the box, and the person who'd found the box was a cox of a boat, and he had long locks and he wore high socks, and he built building blocks, and the story carries on throughout the drive, and then you get bored with that and you change it to another word that someone says, and then you go another 10 words. And we used to find ourselves making these stories up, and it was so much fun. And then when Ben started writing in class, in school, those connections, those words that he'd connected, the way of just by rhyme, gave him such an advantage against other children who didn't have that vocabulary. So it really is a silly game that can make a massive difference. So my questions really about all of this are, what books stood out for you when you were younger? Obviously, we know things like the Gruffalo and many of those kind of children's books, but there's also all of the Harry Potter series, maybe. When did you, can you remember a book that worked for you as a child, that you have still got the memories of a parent reading to you, or even a book that you read on your own that was empowering or made you think, actually, I'm going to put this on my shelf and never ever pass it up for giving to the gift shop or the charity shop. I'm going to keep this book because I loved it. And for Charles, that was oh gosh, I'm going to forget it now. Oh gosh, isn't that awful? Hang on. He had his Merry Men and Robin Hood. There we are. I got there in the end. Robin Hood. First time ever read Robin Hood. Absolutely loved it. It was like, whoa, right? Now, we don't know what book does that for you. What storybook resonated with you most? What story is the one that you think, if you haven't got children, when you have children, you'll want to make sure you tell them, or you'll want to make up your own, or you will decide that every year you're going to read the same story over and over, a bit like me and my Christmas movies, you know? I think this is the stuff that really makes family history. And, you know, I mean, I used to try and cheat, I'll be honest, with the Three Bears, as much as it was fun the first 25 million times. I'd get to the stage where I'd get the book and I would put 2 or 3 pages together and turn it over. And then I go, oh, and then the little chair didn't fit. Da, da, da. And Ben would look at me and I said, what's the matter? I'd say, what's wrong? Nope. And then back bent the pages here. And I'd like, okay, not getting away with that. So I couldn't get away with anything because he knew that story backwards and forwards. So, but that's good fun because that just shows you how much that book meant to him. So as much as I would be exhausted from coming home from work, I loved story time. I loved that moment of that smelling nice little child, that's no longer covered in sticky, yucky stuff and is all lovely and ready for bed and in his pajamas and smelling all like a child should, and then leaning over and reading his story. And then we always used to say at night, like, don't let the bed bugs bite. And then one day he said, what are bed bugs? And I thought, don't want to go there. So I stopped saying it. But that's an example of me just doing what we always do, which is say the things we say. So we always used to say, see you later, alligator. And then one day he said to me, why do you say that? I was like, I have no idea. I have no idea at all. But you know what? We don't have to say it if you don't want to. And then he'd go, no, it's okay. I like it. And then we'd carry on saying, see you later, alligator. And we never looked up why, because it just didn't matter. But the bed bugs thing, I definitely dropped rather quickly because I didn't want to get the idea of him not wanting to get on into bed for what the bugs were doing in his bed or anything like that, which with a child with imagination he would be doing. And his science, he'd have his magnifying glass out looking for the bed bug biting him. So I had to drop that one quickly. So please come on up, come tell us your stories. I'd like to ask you, tell me, what book do you remember from your childhood?
My childhood was a very long time ago, so I think I'll give you a
ditto.
We're not that old really, but we are, right? Omar, welcome, Mrs. Zimpardi. Glad you're here. I see Dr. Leslie.
Yay.
Welcome.
Hi, Dr. Leslie.
We look forward to your errata too. And Sandra, so finishing our book as we speak, working on the edit. Thank you so much for joining us. So Jeannie says, The King of the Cats. You see, now, I guess my memory, my reading started later, to be fair. I wasn't want to get through reading loads I didn't really enjoy reading loads of books with many pages. It took me of course I read through the kids' books, Famous Five, I said nothing about those. A few more weird books in between, but now the book that really sticks in the mind as my first real book that I actually loved was Jonathan Livingstone Seagull. You ever seen that? You ever read that?
Read it? No. Seen it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess it's an inspiring book. In the sense that it's about, if you've never read it, my friends, those who read it tend to have a similar idea to me. It's about a seagull that did what seagulls do. You know what seagulls do, right? They fly around looking for food. That's all they do. They find food, scavenge
and poop.
Yes, I left the book out deliberately, right? Many books in the comments for that, right? So Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and he decided, I'm not just a normal seagull.
Just Robinson, yes.
I'm not going to scavenge around. His thing was, I'm going to learn how to fly beautifully. I'm going to fly more beautifully than any other seagull ever has. And it's a small book, right? It's a small book. It's probably about the size of your Jack and Walter books. 80 pages, if that, 70 pages, if that, thereabouts, right? And so, of course, as this bird was doing its thing and learning how to fly, the rest of the other birds got jealous. He got ostracized by his family, kids in care. story comes in. You get the idea. I'm sure you get the idea, Paulette, right? So he got ostracized, but he was determined. No, I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to suddenly start scavenging like some dirty bird. Like the rat of the skies, that's what we call them in England, right? So he carried on, flying, and he just got amazingly good at flying, doing amazing shapes in the air. Eventually, I guess the rest of the birds were struggling, of course. Scavenging birds tend to struggle after a while. And then Jonathan came back. Well, by the time he came back, they begged him to come back because the younger birds wanted to learn how to fly so beautifully. So determination. There's a lot of things wrapped up in the story for me. It wasn't just a story of a bird. It was more than a story of inspiration, the story of determination, the story of having a goal, a dream. And and that's why I love that book so much. Probably the first book I read from cover to cover, to be fair. But again, because I grew up in foster care, I don't remember any kid stories in that sense of what. No one read. No, people didn't read books to us in foster care, not to me anyway. Maybe I was too old. Maybe I was just too old, right? Yeah. So
I was definitely too old, but yeah.
There's many other books in the comments.
Misty. Oh, there's so many. I can't wait to go through all the comments at the end and look at them all.
Here's a question for you, though, Paulette. What age do we read to our kids till? Is there a too old? Is there a too young?
There really isn't. Well, you see, there really isn't. I've got my goddaughter. Her and her mum both loved Harry Potter. So rather than one read it and then the other one read it, they chose to read it together. So they would each take a chapter. So she was about 12, and her mum used to lay next to her in bed and read a chapter. You read a chapter, and third chapter she'd be like this, and be like okay, we'll stop now, and then we'll catch up here from tomorrow, And they literally read all of the Harry Potters together that way. So I think that's a really beautiful bonding moment. And they went to Harry Potter Land together in America, only about for 18th birthday. So that was about 3-4 years ago. So, it just goes to show you that those messages stay with us, right? And that's really that message of resilience, of strength, of not being frightened to be on your own is kind of that message from the book of the seagull. It gave you such a sense of, I can do this. I'm okay. I don't need anyone else. That's how it's going to be. I'll be all right. I'll be like the seagull, right? But actually, the strength it gives us is unbelievable. And then for you to then be able to pass that on to your child by them reading the book and then going, they won't get the same thing from the story. They'll understand the story. They'll like the story, but they might not get what you got because we're all different. But for me, when I used to read to Ben, I mean, my son was very, very quick to read. So it was very difficult for us to cheat or jump books or, try to get to the end of a book. Oh, we've got somebody here. Hello. It's Michelle.
Oh, yes, that's Michelle from Nevada. Yes, that's Michelle.
Hello, Michelle from Nevada.
There's many more comments. Michelle, how are you doing?
Okay, I took my medicine. I have my things, and we got about 45 minutes before I turn into a pumpkin, and I can't talk. So I know everyone's been excited. Here I am. Yes. I look kind of itchy. We can't go outside right now, and it's driving me nuts. I'm an outside kind of person.
It looks sunny though. No, so is it cold?
It's 15 degrees with a nice touch of acid rain with some battery smoke. And then we have really nice, you can smell the plastic in the air, and it's, we're told not to go outside.
Yeah.
right where I'm at.
It's
So
not good for your chest.
yeah, so I turned my house, well, at least the living room, into a garden, and I'm starting a whole bunch of vegetables because no one's thinking long term. And
So,
to me, that's just, I get what's going on, but all right, we played our trauma and drama and our virtual reality and reality news of what's going on. Now, get the hell out of the way and let people get their job done and start. What are you going to do with your family? You know, you got to. So I've been making planters, and I put
Vegetable gardens. It's a beautiful idea.
eggplants in them and everything like that. And that way you just put it in your house and it grows, and that family has vegetables, and it's
That's exactly
free.
right. And it's healthy, and it's what they're going to need. So it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
do you have a storybook, Michelle, that you can remember from childhood that you loved?
Mary Poppins, and I was raised by in the foster care system, but also with a woman I called grandma. She was not my biological grandmother, but later on in life, I had found out she adopted my biological mother, and my biological mother was someone I thought was my sister growing up. So I grew up with my Holly Hobby record player in the hallway, playing The Sound of Music and everything like that every night, because my grandma came over from Germany. Her and her parents, during the war, her dad was a pilot, and when he died, they were out of that house. I mean, then the other family was ready to come in, the new pilot family. And from there, her and her mother made it to California. And so she just, she taught me a lot of cool things. And yeah, I would say it would be Mary Poppins, because since I didn't have parents really, because she raised me knowing I wasn't hers. You know, she never lied to me about it. And so she told me to watch cool things like that. So I would say Mary Poppins, Swiss Family Robinson. Come on.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's cool. I mean, if you're gonna have a family, why not have a family like that?
I have a vision of a bear. Am I right?
You have a what?
Was it a
What?
bear? Was there a bear? Was it Swiss Family Robinson where the
Yes,
bear
they
was?
had
Am I
a
getting
bear.
mixed up? Great big bear, that's right. And I remember thinking that is that allowed? Are we allowed to import bears? Because I really would have put in for a bear. Mind you, saying that, when I watched Gremlins for the first time, I was like, oh, I'm the little mogwai. Oh, I want a mogwai. Oh, I love the mogwai. And then it turned into this evil gremlin, and I was like, no, I don't want a mogwai. So I'm like, E.T., yeah, come here. E.T., come to me. I'd be a really good place for E.T. to come to. So I'm a bit like that. I tend to take them all in. I do all the waste and strays me, which probably does go back to all of us talking about care. We tend to have that empathetic nature because we look out for others, because by nature we felt that we needed to. But certainly with Mary Poppins, I get that, because it's such a lovely role model and such a comforting, isn't it? It's a comforting thing, Mary Poppins. You feel like you're in good company. You're safe.
Oh, hey, hi.
I lost you there for a minute. Yep, you went still. Did you hear what I said? Sorry. I was saying I think Mary Poppins is very safe. I think we're losing the internet.
Yeah,
Can you hear me
can
at all?
Unfortunately, our
I can-
fires have gotten, this fire's out of control, you guys, and it might be taking down another tower. We are very blessed that Alon did put his trucks where they're at right now, which he's going to have to start bringing them more this way too, because you know it is what it is. And so we are having a lot of problems. Like, I think my power went off 5 times last night because they've got to cut off our power when the embers start going over, because our power lines are so old. We've never fought this kind of fire before, ever. And then with everything they have found, it's just insane. And so, yeah, I don't know. I was going off there.
Michelle has shown how easy it is to come on stage. So our friends, do come on stage. We want to hear from more of you. There are a couple of great comments.
And if you want to come up on stage and you don't want to show your face, I do this thing where I say, now you see me, now you don't. Look. Now you see, no, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't. So you can actually do it so that you don't see yourself. If you don't want to, it's up to you entirely.
It's
so
hard
actually,
coming up on stage. If it wasn't Gregory. I apologize. I can't. I couldn't hear. I apologize. Gregory, yeah. When people look at me and actually well, I guess I'm dressed better and everything. I'm in, sweats and stuff right now. They don't think anything's wrong with me. Even when I was a kid that way, but I don't think they understand either that I've always been on the same medication since I was 8.
Yeah.
But then I open up my mouth, and when I open up my mouth, my eyes will get bigger, and they change different colors of blue, and it freaks people out. And that's where people get going, you're just crazy and everything. So seeing Gregory do it yesterday, it was kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
we figured out a pill that'll allow me to connect my brain for 45 minutes. I got to do it because it needs to be done.
Well, good for you. And the key thing for me, Gregory, if you can come up on stage and speak, even if it's only for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it shows people, look, if I can do it, come on, guys, it's not that scary. It's not that big a deal,
It takes only seeing one person doing something before it becomes a fad. It's just like clothes.
Yeah.
And when you're unique, and then when you also get nervous, we jerk, we act different. Yeah, we can take medication to make us not, like Valium and pain pills, but then, when are you gonna know when you're hurt? Hey, you got an arrow through your head. Oh, do I? I'm sorry. I'm all doped up on pain pills, so I didn't feel it.
I know all about that, trust me.
And well, so I allow myself to be like this because there's nothing wrong with me. My granddaughter asked me one day, why does everyone call you crazy, Grandma? And it was just, during COVID and everything. And she goes, what's going on? What do you have that makes you crazy? And she goes, do you want to stop being crazy? And I'm like, honey, I would hate to be normal. I want to stay crazy because look where normal's got us. And she was just like, you're right. So they're crazy and we're normal. And I was like, well, there you go. It doesn't matter. But either way, if they say I'm crazy and that they're normal, well, look where normal got us. We're locked down in a house and no one knows what they're doing. So
what they're doing with it, exactly.
Yeah, Grandma's gonna go get something to play with, like a game, and I guess that's crazy. Let's play.
I'm just happy to meet you. I'm just happy to meet you properly and hear you speak on stage. So thank you so much.
It is
okay. Can I get off now?
Is that the right way? I'm never sure which way to do it that way. Okay,
you know
I'm
what?
always frightened of not being very churchly.
No, I flip people off sometimes by accident. I don't mean to. All right, because I'm dyslexic.
The right way.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm dyslexic and I'm left-hand dominant. Means they broken my left hand twice in special ed in elementary school to get me to write with my right. It won't happen. So sometimes with my right hand, with my left hand, it'll be like "fuck you" or "fuck you," and I'll be like, "Oh, I just did it on live. I apologize." See.
It's all right. It's all right. It's fine.
We'll leave it there.
Love you guys.
We'll just leave it there. But it's been lovely to see you. Take care.
Lovely to see you guys.
We'll talk soon. Look, there are many great comments saying that Jeannie read Jonathan Livingston as an adult, same as me, older teenager, I guess, for me. Where are we? You know, so are you my mother? Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to know all the books unless you know. And therefore, you know a lot of them, Paulette. You know, being educated counselor.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this by Jeannie. The clocks can turn, right? You know, where our kids be big.
Absolutely.
You know, is that a good thing? Or bad thing? Are we regressing, or are we just being influenced in reverse?
This was bought for me at Christmas. Hang on, let's get this right. Donna Ashworth, I Wish I Knew. This was one of Ben's gifts to me because he knew I'd love it. And I'm going to read something to everybody because I think this is exactly what we're talking about. The worst thing you can be is not fat or ugly or stupid. The worst thing you can be is not different or awkward or too much. The worst thing you can be, unequivocally, is locked in a prison of your own self-doubt, riddled with insecurities, afraid to venture out into this life, lest the world sees who you really are. In short, the worst thing you can be is someone else, when you were only ever meant to be you. And I thought that is beautiful. Everybody is unique. Everybody will have different memories, different ideas, different thoughts about books. I have stacks of books because I love books, and to have that bought for me, and that particular it's only a small little piece of prose, but to have that marked, "This is for you, Mum," was so perfect because I always said to him, who wants to be normal like everybody else if everybody else is normal? You know, who's to say they're the normal ones? And it used to be a bit of a funny comment. And just even hearing, you know, Michelle say it, you know, we are all unique and we will all have a different story, a different upbringing, different words that we use in our families to mean different things. I said to Charles the other day, and Annie, you heard it here first. I said to Charles the other day, I fell over, I took the nail polish off my new toes, my Christmas toes, nail polish gone. And I was grumpy as hell. And I said, well, that's it. I guess I am a proper cripple. But instead of saying the word proper and cripple, meaning that's how I felt, I said, hang on, let's get this right. I said a proper cripple. No, a cropper pipple. And I said, that's it. I guess I must be a cropper pipple. And that he was just on the floor. He was killing himself. He said, I can see that as being as good as the Gruffalo. And he said, you've got to write the book of the Crocker Pipple because it is like it just sounds so funny and so perfect for a creature. The crocopipple that's always falling over, the crocopipple that walks into walls, the crocopipple that, you know, has no spatial awareness, who covers the floor in nail polish, and, you know, just everything was just, it just became such. And now every time something happens, I say, oh, this happened, or I just did this, and he goes, oh, the crocopipple strikes again. And now this has become the crocopipple. So don't be surprised if you see a book coming out at some point in the future, and it will be called the crocopipple, and it will be, I think that's Lowe's from Netherlands, isn't
Yeah,
it?
is that
Lowe's.
part of Jack and Water? Is that part of Jack and Water series?
No, I'll do that as a separate book for people who are different. It'll just be a book for people that are different. And it's, say, different's okay. You know? Why, what was different about the crocopipple? Who's to say where that'll end? But I think it will be quite funny. And I think if we do it in a humorous way, we can address issues that are difficult, you know?
Yeah,
I asked Ben, you know, God.
So one of our things today is the way stories help children to say and communicate their feelings and their experiences, right?
Yeah.
You know, so we live in a world where kids struggle to get parents to understand, adults to understand, because and it's a two-way thing. Clearly, now I think the adults don't understand what's being said, and kids don't know how to express themselves. Yeah, I think story time is a good way.
Oh, definitely,
It's a
definitely.
language, the feelings, the emotions, and how to express them by learning from what the characters are going through, I guess. What's your take on that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. When I was going into schools, with my Mrs. Worry and a worry basket. So I'd have a big wooden basket that I'd have over my arm, and people could come and put their worries in my basket. They'd get a bit of paper and they could write their worry on it, and then they'd put it in my basket and I'd take it away. And that helped them feel like they'd shed some of that worry. And then if they really wanted to talk to me about their worry, we would have 5 or 10 minutes together to talk about their worries. And I found very quickly that there was too many worries, that especially some of them, you know, you feel like this is too great a problem to be dealt with in a few seconds. This needs proper time and therapy time, and there isn't any. There isn't any resource for it. There isn't any school can employ them, because there aren't the therapists out there to employ. We've got this major problem with mental health, especially with children. And so me going in as somebody who they felt they could align with, and then one of the children said to me, "Is your walking stick real?" I said, "Well, that sounds like Santa Claus's beard. Are you going to give my walking stick a check?" And they said, "Well, is it like Nanny McPhee's? Has it got magic?" And I was like, "No, sorry, no magic here." And they said, "Well, we think you're quite magical." And I said, "Do you?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, what's magical about me?" And they said, "It's your basket. Because when you take those worries away, we were telling the teacher we feel better." And I was like, "Well, if that's magic, then I've got magic." And I felt really empowered. And if that helps that child, then goodness me, it's worth having a worry basket for, right? The problem that you have is some of the worries that I would read when I got back home would be quite scary. And sometimes the children would put their names on the bits of paper, and sometimes they wouldn't. But the biggest concern is something that is really, you know, about either a child being hurt or something like that. So all you can do is take the piece of paper in an envelope, addressed to the teacher, told to read it in the staff room and look at the handwriting and see if they recognize it. Now, a teacher that's got 15 kids in a class should recognize handwriting. If you've got 30, I don't know, but hopefully so. But in the case I'm talking about, with like 15 children in the class, they should be able to tell by the handwriting who that child is with that worry. And I left a sheet of, I shared a worry today with Walter, and they had Jack and Walter, what would Walter do? And then they had a sticker, and it was I shared a worry, and they all wanted a sticker for put a worry in the basket. And I left her with a sheet of worry stickers. The suggestion was to say to the children, certain children Mrs. Worry would like to see again. So she pointed out the children that she thought that I ought to see based on what I told her, and then I would sit and go through it with them. And sometimes you'd hear things you wish you could unhear, but other times you heard joyous things that were, that weren't bad in any way, shape, or form, but it was a misunderstanding. This particular child told me that they were worried their dad started wearing their mum's clothes. And when you first read the problem, you sort of titter, and then you go, well, who am I to judge or whatever? But if it's worrying the child, then probably it needs to be discussed. And then when the teacher was pointed out to the teacher, and the teacher said, well, I would handle it in a jovial way like you would do normally. And then when I get a chance at parents' evening, I will try and find out a bit more information. And she said, there's a parents' evening coming up next week. I'll let you know how I get on. Now, the teacher and I had a good relationship. So next time I went in, she said that they were sitting at parents' evening, and she happened to mention that the son had expressed slight concern about his dad was wearing his mum's clothes, and they said the parents were like laughing and then embarrassed, and he was like, oh, I'm mortified. And he said it was a tarts and tramps do, and we were just dressing up in each other's clothes, and that's all it was. And the teacher's going, no judgment, but we're just asking because he's concerned, and they still will talk to him and explain it's fine, don't worry. But the teacher was going, no judgment, I'm not judging anyone. So, it's interesting how one incident of seeing his dad, or once while his dad was trying on dresses to see which one fitted, and then him going out wearing his dress, was playing on his mind. And it's important that it's playing on his mind because it's different. It's different, but it doesn't necessarily mean bad. It doesn't necessarily mean an issue. And
yeah, I think also,
sorry.
you never know what's going to be in an issue, do you? I say we need kids to keep expressing themselves and keep sharing.
Never shutting down.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely. Look,
yeah,
let's
never shutting down.
Let's work through the comments because I think there's a lot.
Oh, please, that'd be lovely.
So, Dr. Islam, welcome.
Islam.
Glad you're here. Michael says hello. Michael, oh, that's me on the left leg, Michael. I got to alternate my standing feet. Says Michael, so I got to stand on one leg like an ostrich, intermittently.
Well, you got to be hopping.
Yeah, not quite hopping, but literally like an ostrich. Think of the ostrich.
I've got a spare leg. No, I've not got one leg. I've got a spare one.
I got one. Yolanda, welcome. A pink lemonade lady. Glad you're here. Dr. Lisa, thank you so much.
Lisa.
For always a menopause dietitian expert. I'm glad you're here, of course. Who else do we have? Sandra says.
We've got Sandra.
Yeah. Don Quixote.
Don Quixote, of course.
Yeah.
And the Little Prince. Oh, yes.
Do
I
you know
know
the
The Little
story?
Prince, definitely.
Okay, so
The Little Prince, yes.
you see, I was quite boring. You know, I've got a library. I say my small library of textbooks. I've read textbooks back to cover to cover, really. And I get more from textbooks because it's factual. I can remember stuff in
So that's
textbooks. You know,
Ben loved facts. If you bought Ben a book, he wouldn't want a storybook. He'd want 1,000 facts on space, 1,000 facts on animals, 1,000 facts on dinosaurs. It was always facts. And, you know, then when obviously that's really geared him up for academic studies, because that's all fact. You know, there's not a lot of stories in academics. Or depending on what you're studying, obviously, but in medicine, not really. But yeah.
Curious George, I
Yolanda
wonder.
says,
I'm sure you know those.
Curious George, yes. Curious George.
You know,
And the cartoons,
say,
of course.
The one thing I'll say is, you know, because I grew up in Nigeria, I spent 0 to 13 in Nigeria. You know, it feels like I missed a lot of this cultural stuff, a lot of these books and TV programs that you know, people were watching. He said, my wife knows stuff that and I'm like, what? I don't know what that is. You know, I think, you know, it's very easy to miss the cultural stuff, to miss the everyday stuff. You know, especially if you never come across it in books, never come across it, your parents never share it with you. You know, you can miss a lot of stuff, I think, and it's very hard to catch up. You know, that's why I say I choose to go forward. That's my way, right? Like Curious George, I've heard of it. I've never seen it. I don't know what it is really.
Cartoon, yeah, children's cartoon was made from it.
So, you know, Jeannie showed, you know, she's the one who mentioned her son buying her books now. She gets her to buy her books now.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's influencing.
Ditto.
I agree.
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah. Let's have crazy moments every day. We all do. You know, we try to, right? You know, so just take the crazy off the table. I agree. And make it part of just being yourself, right? It's who we are. And it's fun. So that's life.
Absolutely.
So
it's a Crocker Pipple moment.
Yes, that one. Coach K says hi. I know she has to go and she's got a meeting in a few minutes, so she can't come on stage today. Sharon, welcome. Glad you're here.
Hi, Sharon.
Who looks like a platypus? What's a platypus?
Platypus. Looks like a platypus. I presume it's a book.
Isn't that an animal? A platypus is an animal, surely.
Platypus is an animal, yeah. I think so, yeah.
So a question you get in Omar's, you know, it's an animal.
Yeah, I ought to know the answer. I've got that coming up. I bet we've got that coming up.
It's a swimming duck thing. It's not a duck, but it's a duck like it looks like a seal. Egg-laying mammal that's endemic to Australia and Tasmania. Duck-billed platypus. There you go. It looks like a duck, but it's a seal. Funny world we live in, Paulette. You know, funny world we live in.
Indeed. Is it actually a book or is it just a?
It's an animal in itself. I'm sure there's a story about it somewhere. There must be.
An interesting animal. I think it must be a book.
You know, because the parents learn as much as learn as they're written to the kids. I agree, of course they do. That's our point. To, you know, it's a two-way thing, right? You know, and
absolutely, and that's absolutely what we're trying to say. Is I mean, Leslie always says that when parents read these books to children, they are learning information that they didn't know either. So about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, the subconscious mind being Jack, who's full of confusion and all the fears and all the bad thoughts, and then Waters there being the voice of reason and the more sort of thinking mind, which is the conscious mind. And everybody eventually works out, as in grown-ups, that Jack and Walter are one person or one thing. But we gave his subconscious a name so that when he talks to Walter, it doesn't seem strange to talk to yourself, because we actually should actively encourage it, because it's very, very good for the future. And having a running commentary, which is what I tend to have going on all the time, which isn't great, but if you have, I call it a team meeting, but nobody else would get the joke. But for me, it's a team meeting. I just thought to myself, it's a team meeting. But when a child can talk to its Walter, then it doesn't feel like it's doing anything odd or strange. So it can reason with Walter and, have conversations with Walter. Granny's really sad. Should we throw a party? Would that be a good idea? And then Walter, would say, I'm not so sure that's a good idea. Maybe we should think about that. Maybe her being sad means she'd rather have a hug and a chat than a party. And Jack could be like,
"Oh, which of which voice is in the quotation marks in your head? Is it the one in your head or the one of you talking to yourself?"
The one in quotation marks is always the one that's going on just in the background. I must remember to do this. I must remember. I got to write that. I've got to do this. That's the one in the background.
Note to self voice. I hear you.
The note to self is constant. Even though I write things down, it's still note to self. So it's interesting. I have lots of odd and funny words. I certainly do.
In case you missed today's word, my friends, Equaco people, whatever that is. Now, Paulette has an explanation for what that is, right?
Okay, so when I fell over, I said, well, that's it. It's definite. I meant to say a proper cripple, meaning that I was so crippled, I fell.
Yeah.
But instead of saying that, I transposed the first two letters and I ended up with a pop. Let's get it right again.
People.
A crocker pipple.
Right, crocker people. Yes. Okay.
Crocker pipple. Yeah.
And she says she's gonna write a book about it. You're gonna write a book about it for us to all have a good laugh. I look forward to it, Paulette.
I think we should. I think it should be a crocker, as in.
Yeah.
I'd have to write it down. But yeah, I think I definitely will do it. I like the idea of the worry basket. I think I'm going to implement that, because you can have it, my love. With my love. It really is a great way. It's a great way of children thinking, especially if they know it's a basket that you're going to take away, because it makes them feel like the worry is already diminished. Even though it might have not gone away completely, they've shared it with someone. And even though they've shared it privately, just anonymously, it makes it diminish in size because they've told someone. And then the next time they disclose it, it doesn't feel so bad or so big. And then they may even give you the whole story the next time. And if they do, when you read the handwriting, the little squares of paper, if they want to put their names on it, they can. But it's up to them. I don't think we should ever put restraints on things, because a constraint will stop them doing it. A constraint will make them think, secondly, about whether or not. It's a bit like us in these rooms. As soon as we've changed from audio to video, everyone's ultra nervous about coming on stage. And I love the comments, and I think this is great that we've got this commentary, which we didn't used to have. But the audio rooms had the feel of being like all in our living room, and it was safe. When we're suddenly exposed, it's face, makeup, if you can be bothered. I couldn't. But it's face and makeup and, getting yourself camera ready, like Any had a shower and was like only having a couple of minutes to spare before he shot onto the screen looking all sparkly and new. So we are grateful for that. But evidently it put the strain on you. But no, the point is that everybody is feeling differently about this whole audio video thing. And I'm really a great believer that we can just come on stage as blank and speak happily, or if you want to be seen, you can. It's entirely up to you. Be as brave or as it's not even bravery really. It's about whether it's something you want to do. And I think over time, people will get more and more comfortable with it. Not sure how to share my video, but I can come on and talk. Jeannie, yes.
I've just shared the link with you, Jean.
Send
So
you a
feel
link.
free. I sent you the link. It might look like a connection request, so look in your notifications. So we'd love to have you in the studio. If anyone else wants to come and share with us, please do. Please do. So
yeah, absolutely.
The more you talk, the happier and the better it is for everyone. People learn more from you than from us. So yeah, that's why we appreciate it. I'm saying nothing. Who else? Okay.
Yeah, so cool.
Sweet Valley High. That's a film. That's a TV program.
Oh,
right?
yeah, Elementary School.
Is there a book about it? Is it a book? Is it? I thought it was a TV program.
I think these things all start off, or I'm not sure which way it went, but there definitely is a series of books.
Okay.
There was a Jackie somebody other did a load of books. Jackie, oh gosh, what's her surname? Oh, I can't think. Very famous teenage girl books. I think she ended up writing about 30 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of books and big publications as well, big publications.
I'm
people
sharing
that
the link.
with
Go for it. Don't stop halfway.
No, it's okay. I'm just looking it up for you.
Looking for Jackie.
Jackie.
Natalie.
No.
I see you now, Natalie. Glad you're here. So I think Jeannie's got a meeting at 10.
Jackie Wilson.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of her.
So she wrote hundreds of children's books, but they really were sort of aimed at Tracy Beaker. Know the name Tracy Beaker?
Yeah.
That was
I remember.
Wilson.
I can't say I've ever.
Michelle, hi, good morning.
Yeah. Welcome, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. Who else? Who I missed? What does Sharon say? Yeah.
Self-talk is so important.
My conversations with myself, they're the best conversations I have all day. Who said that?
I love the idea. She's going to have a team meeting too. See, people are learning things from this, if nothing else.
They are. Jay, welcome. Glad you're here.
Hi.
Strategist.
When I get my voice back properly, Jay, for chatting, I'll give you a shout. I've been saving it for Leslie and for this. Yeah. So Sweet Valley High, teen girls love these books. Yeah.
I progressed to inappropriate ones. There's books. What are called? Meals and Boon. That's what they're called. Horrible books.
Well, Meals and Boons are okay. Grannies liked Meals and Boons. They tended to always have Meals and Boons with their knitting. They love a bit of romance as a grandma normally. Older grandma.
I didn't. You bored me to death. Look, I gotta restart my computer, so you carry on talking, right? You have fun. give me a couple of minutes.
Okay. If anyone would like to come on stage and talk to us about their early memories of books or their favorite book or what their first books that they remember reading either on their own or with their family, books that mean things to your family as well. So we all get to learn from each other. You know, it's very easy for me to just list books and books and books, but I'd love to hear the books that had impact on your lives. So please do come up on stage and feel free to come talk to us. Jay, if you're around and it's possible, come up on stage and talk to us. Because, you know, you will have either cultural books, or you'll have, as you say, the kids' books, you know, from having the girls. But, you know, you personally, what was the book that, was it Robinson Crusoe? Was it, you know, we've already had the one with the bear, that was the Family Robinson or something I used to like. So hi Evans, hi. Yeah, so come on up and talk to us, feel free. We're having some technical issues, I believe, but Annie is our technician. I don't know if that's a good thing. Left to me, it wouldn't be a good thing. Yesterday, the day before, he gave me a reference number, and I just copied the end bit like I was instructed, and I ended up on Singapore Airlines because that was the number of an airplane or an airline. And I said, I'm on Singapore Airlines. And he's like, what are you doing on Singapore Airlines? And I was like, well, you sent me here. It's like, I didn't. I'm like, you did. You did. You definitely did. I'm on Singapore Airlines. He was killing himself with laughter. Paddington, definitely got to be. Yeah.
I've learned how to
absolutely
save my comments to stop them disappearing. They were just disappearing before. If I restart, they just disappear. So literally, I start to me. But now, if I leave a comment on screen, it stays there, and the comment feed stays there. Yeah, you live and learn.
Excellent. I can go and write comments after. Lovely, thank you. So Paddington, oh my gosh, Paddington Bear. I worked with Studio Canal, and they were looking for somebody who had a small hand, and they were going to do a mold of a hand to create Paddington's hand. And they asked if Ben was available because he was the right age group. And I was like, yeah. Oh my gosh, the Paddington Bear's hand, wouldn't that be something? So anyway, they did an awful lot of it by these something atronics. I can't remember what it's called, but something atronics. And it's where they have all these, it looks like it's real, and then they put it in afterwards. I can't think, it's green screen or whatever it is. But anyway, but they actually created the bear because they had to have a bear with all the moving parts. Anyway, the day that Ben was supposed to go to be Paddington's hand, he was ill. So Ben never got to be Paddington's hand, and one of the other sons of one of the partners directors went and did the job for them. And Ben always talks about his missed opportunity of celebrity to be Paddington's hand. But Charles and I had the privilege. We had the privilege of actually going up to Leicester Square to the premiere. And it was bonkers, you know, and Nicole Kidman was the baddie in that one, if you remember the first one. And these people are on stage, and it was like, this is crazy mad for me to be sitting here, and Charles is like looking at me going, I've got a little mini Paddington, and we had a marmalade sandwich on our chairs and some water.
That's what I remember. It reminds me of Red Riding Hood. I don't know. I think I read that story somewhere when I was younger.
Yeah.
I'm more confused. Yeah. Is Paddington
similar? Paddington Bear's a story of being alone. Paddington Bear's a story of being on his own in the middle of Paddington Station, doesn't know what his name is, so he calls himself Paddington because he sees a sign, and that's how he gets his name. And he is literally alone. And then this lady Mrs. Brown can't walk past him. She can't bear the fact this little bear sitting there with his little suitcase, and so she takes him home and they adopt him. And some of the stuff that goes on with the film, they've obviously had a bit of poetic license, to say the least. And the guy that wrote it was actually the original script of the original books was actually, I think he was 88 when he was on stage, and he died not long after. But Studio Canal are doing Paddington 4. So, you know, I mean, there really are. It's had such a massive effect on so many. It's such a family movie. I mean, Ben was gagging when he put the 2 toothbrushes, the electric toothbrushes in his ears, and was like, "Oh, that's nice." And he was like, "Oh, that's disgusting." It's like, then he put them back down again as if someone's going to pick them up. And Ben found that just too much. I was like, "It's fun." It's like, "Bleh." And I was like, "Okay." But, you know, it's Paddington turned from a great book to a great film. Sometimes the books aren't so great when they do that transfer, because you lose your imagination as to how you saw it playing out. So Michelle says, "I will totally dress up one day." There we are.
You don't have to, Michelle. You
somebody
don't have
making
to.
promises.
You don't have to. You know.
Sorry?
So you don't have to dress up to come on stage. You know, we need
No,
to
no,
get.
no. Look at me.
Yeah, look at me. No, wear a shirt, but no, you know, just be yourself. And we saw you, Michelle. You know, you're totally fine. So that thank you again.
Absolutely lovely, and thank you for being brave enough to come up on stage, because it's a bit scary for everybody. I appreciate it. But it you know, I hope we get more familiar with the idea, because we have lots of people here. We've got a big old bundle of people here, which is wonderful. So to have this number of people in the room is great. But I think we will at some point get people to come up.
We
Oh,
will. No, look,
Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer.
I think Michelle coming up is more miraculous than people realize. You know, I say Michelle is
Yeah,
deaf and
because
blind.
we know her situation.
And so one day you get to meet, you know, you learn more about Michelle. And I say, when you're deaf and blind, and you know, it takes extraordinary courage. You know, that's my thinking, really. You know, I think, you know, a lot of us talk about having that resilience, having the courage, having, you know, being positive. I think maybe now's the time, really. You know, how really brave are you? I'm not saying come to the stage today. I'm saying, you know, we have to look within ourselves and truly say, would we put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation, you know, in a new situation? You know, if you're in Michelle's situation, would you really? You know, I give the lady all the credit in the world for coming up on stage today for that.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Truly. Huckleberry Finn, what's that about?
Mine too.
You know, what's Huckleberry Finn about? I have no idea.
Really?
Yeah.
And Tom Sawyer?
No idea who Tom Sawyer is.
Oh wow. Should look those up. They're good books.
I mean, shows we'll have to hop to shower, you know, in shower. You can turn your camera off, Michelle. They can't see you, you know. So how do you do that, Michelle?
Definitely not when you're in the shower. We do not want
no.
you live in the shower. No, it's a whole different type of filming.
Michelle, I'm going to send you the link to your DM, right?
I'll get cancelled again.
Permanently sample it. You know, it would. I'm sure it would be.
Could you imagine? Right? I'd get cancelled this way.
No, but
the thing about it is, isn't it lovely? It's lovely, even if you've only taken a few minutes just to remember the books that you loved, remember reading the books, remember having story time with family members, anything that's today has made you reminisce in any sort of short way about the importance of books. is what this was really about. It was me telling you that not just to blatantly advertise, that I will do as well,
Yes.
that there is a new book. But it's not just to blatantly advertise, it is to say that books are important and they're an important part of children growing up. And these books are, although they're fun, they are self-help books. They are
These books,
books to help children.
all three of them,
Yes.
but if you haven't bought this set, now's the time to buy this set. No, Evans, no, I see you. Thank you for joining us. Michelle, I just send you a link to your LinkedIn DM. So just click on the link in your DM. You'll be in the stage. You'll be in the studio, and then you can turn your camera off. No, you can turn the camera off. So I don't have to see you once you get in the studio. The audience won't see you. Then won't bring you on stage. There you are, Michelle.
Good morning.
There you are.
I am in my bathrobe, about to hop in the shower, and no makeup, no nothing, because we are enough, right? Yep.
Exactly.
We are enough. Good morning, my lovely. How are you?
I'm good. Annie, you were saying a lot of things about me. I was very interesting. I'm like, It was very interesting. Of course, it's about me. Can you hear me?
You saying about, I don't know, he's disappeared on us.
No,
there he is. Where's he gone? Yeah.
Enya has a lot of Michelle friends, right? Here today, there's you, there's Michelle G. Whiteside, there's Michelle Bodenham, the one that came up earlier. There's Michelle Ramos. Yeah. I'm sure there's another Michelle as well in there somewhere. So I know a lot of Michelles. Lucky me, right?
Right. Good name. 2 L's, 1 L. All good.
One of the Michelle sent me a message saying Michelle's a bit crazy. I laughed. But it's not true. Thank you for coming up, though.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Tell us about your book experience.
I have seen you for ages.
That you loved.
I know. So this is where I get to talk to you. It's the time change.
What was your favorite book? I know. What was your favorite book growing up?
Well, it's funny because Paddington keeps coming up with my partner. Like it's just so funny. I'm like, oh, it's that again. But my favorite book was, my mother read to me the Grimm's fairy tales, which were I like them, but they were kind of scary and very dark. Yeah. But I think my favorite story was, well, I loved Pippi Longstocking, but that was kind of later. My mother read a lot of things, but they were a little over the top. I'm trying to remember the one that was like really special to me, like I wanted to hear over and over again. I hate to say it, but it was like Cinderella.
Yeah, why not? And now you've got it. Come real.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing.
And now you are.
Yeah. I liked all the fairy living fairly ever after. What?
It will be. It will be. I've got the hat already. Tell me, what about reading to your children? What was your favorite to read to them?
I loved the Polar Express. They love that. Of course, I can rattle this off. My daughter was really into dinosaurs. There was like the nature book that she really liked that I read all the time. Goodnight Moon was another one. I Love You This Much was another one. Oh, with my kids, I could rattle off. For myself, I'm like, I don't really know. It's so funny. But they like Goodnight Moon and I Love You This Much.
I love this. Yeah, that one with your hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that.
The Kissing Hand, that's another one. But really, the ones they wanted over and over again were like Goodnight Moon and, I had a Thomas and Train one. Bradley really loved that one. They were a lot different than the books. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that the books that you chose to read to your children are very different to the books you had read to you, number one. Number two is that they will remember that as much as you.
Right.
That time, that particular moment in time, if you could capture it and say, how did it make you feel? How did it make them feel? It's the most magical thing in the world. And you can never get it back. And it should never not happen. And I
that's a
say
really
that
good
all the
point.
time.
It's so important. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
you think about it like as a parent with all the things we do wrong, right? We think of all the things we do wrong and with where my kids are right now and my daughter coming back from LA with the fires. And then my son coming back and stopping by all the time and interviewing at my partner's store today. There's a lot of magic and a lot of healing. But when you start to think of all the things that happened that you think aren't good, like with my other half that I don't think was so helpful. And it's great to see these things like the books to remember, oh, I was a good mom. Like I did those things. Like we forget. And I went, oh, I did show up. Oh, I did do this. And it came out of my kids' mouths about things I've done. And I go, I'm not that bad because we always go to we didn't do enough, right? We're not responsible for success or failure, but we take it all on. And so it's a really nice, when
Yeah.
you think about the books you've read or you think of things you've done,
Yeah.
it really puts into perspective how you did show up because we don't remember the good for whatever reason as humans. We go to the not good enough, right? So it's
We
beautiful
we
peeps.
always look at the negative.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is important that you remember it too, because we are full of what ifs
Right.
and should haves, could haves, and all the rest of it. And I definitely believe that you can replace the should haves with I actually did my best and my best was good enough, and
Correct.
ask them. Ask them, they'll
Right.
evidence it, you know? And that relationship of childhood, taking them forward is so important. And, you know, I'm a great believer that I know I'm a book author. Sounds strange to say even now, but I'm a book author. But actually, it's more about what they get from the books that is so important to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so important. And, you know, I really, really hope that when one day in the future a child will say, from Jack and Water, I learnt to trust myself. From Jack and Water, I learnt to believe in myself. From Jack and Water, I learnt to listen to my inner voice that said to do this or do that. That would be magical. That would be
They will.
magical for
They
me.
will. I have no doubt they will pull it. And you keep writing them, keep publishing them, keep selling them, keep marketing them. More kids, more books get in people's hands, then more people will say those words. You know, and I
Adult
guess
kids too.
yes. You know, so
Adult
and
kids.
Yes.
people don't get the credit for writing books when they're alive, Paulette. You know that, don't you? Sorry about that. They get no. It's always in hindsight. Great works and the Charles Darwin's work. I'm saying great works get recognised later on, and it's not our time.
Shakespeare. I think we can come back a bit from there.
Only just
Yeah,
look.
I think
I do want to bring attention to Evans's point. It's Nigeria. Some of us didn't do so much of storybooks. We're more into non-fiction
right.
books.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a symptom of our parents wanting African kids to be academic. That was exactly my experience. When I was at the age now under 13, and there was reading books wasn't a thing. Only when school books came into become a thing for us, that's how reading books. It's strange, but I'm glad I'm not alone, Evans. You made me feel half normal now, because that's exactly me. I think that's how I've written as an adult, really.
We used to have a library that came round in a van, a library van, and it used to stop at the school, and we used to all pile on the library van and pick a
Really?
book and get it stamped. Yeah.
We
Yeah, out in the
used
sticks.
we
We
used
didn't
to
have
read encyclopedias. Remember those things, those big books? Encyclopedia Britannica.
Oh yeah, I remember those big things.
That's what I used to read. That's what easy reading for any when any was a kid. Thank you, Sharon Rose. You know, you're the star. You're the star. You really are. I get to meet Linda.
Thank you, Sharon.
Linda on Thursday. I'm excited.
Thank you, Linda. Good night, Moon. There we are. Another one remembers that one.
Yeah, you young ones too.
And I Love You This Much is one of my favorites. I forgot that one. That's lovely. But no, I do hope, because I get told by people, thank you, Linda. I do get told by people that the books have helped them. But I don't necessarily hear the children, because I don't speak to that many children. But I thought about doing a day in the library, and actually going down to the library and doing a reading.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. You know, it's not just like libraries, your local bookstore. You know, let's do it. You know, if you think it, let's do it. You know, of course, you get to meet kids. You know, and we don't bring kids into our media spaces like this. So, you know, it's literally something for us to, you know, it's hard to know their thoughts, right? But, you know, so in time, believe you me, you know, the more people read your books. Now, maybe my plea to our friends here today is find a way to help us get these books in more children's hands. And that's what we need to do.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Any which way.
Yeah, and into your kids' schools, into other parents that you know, literally kids' clubs. And so I ventured out to.
Need to get on that, Paulette. We talked about that before, but I'm going into schools today with a flyer for kids doing art projects on Grant Street for the leadership thing in Novato. I'm going in there anyway too, so we need to do that. Just saying, because you're here.
Okay.
Also,
thank you. No, take the book with you. Take the book with you. If you got.
Well, yeah, and right, we talked about that. And Paulette, also, I mean, it would be great if you online, even on LinkedIn, if you read some of the books, like a reading, kind of like a reading space for people, for kids. So if parents wanted to bring them and they could also hear the book being read by you.
Yeah, let's do that, Paulette. Why not? Let's do one of our rooms, student anxieties rooms.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, for adults too. I like it. You can read to me any day.
Yeah, you know, and also we can stream the event to Facebook this time, you know, and other places where kids are.
Awesome.
You know, to give people more options. Now let's do that for our next one, Paulette, for sure, right? You know, so going back to Evans. There's many things that we need to do. There's many things we need to do, right? You know, Evans, I think back to your point, I think our point today is that we should spend more time doing story time books with our kids. You know, maybe the people didn't do it for us, but let's do it more for our kids. The benefits are huge. You know, and sometimes you get a bit first time.
Really, from when they're a baby, when they're first sitting on your lap with a little, you know, plastic books and paper
your
tummy. Books, card books. You know,
I mean, I used to read to my daughter in my tummy. Yes. She believes that the reason why she's so smart is from Baby Mozart that I played for her. And then I read to her. And then with the second one, I was a little bit more, you know, busy and all that. He's smart too, but very different. But she believes I believe that.
Well, that could be her musicality, definitely.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I love you, Paulette. Yeah, I mean, thank you. Thank you, you guys.
You take care, my darling.
Yeah, I've got to run. I wish I didn't have to. Love to see you too. I'll call you this afternoon for sure. I think you have something at 11 too, don't you? You have 11 o'clock today too, don't you? No. Okay, good. I'll call you. Okay. Bye, Annie.
Bye. I've got an
Bye. Thank you, Annie. I'm always trying to talk to you. I send you messages. Just saying. Okay.
Let's meet Michelle. Now it's simple. It's as simple as that. So I'll send you a DM. Let's put a date in the diary. Let's have a Zoom meeting and talk.
All right, awesome. All right, love to you both. Have a great day.
Thank you. You made my day.
Bye, love.
Thank you so much.
You made mine. Bye.
Bye. He woke up late. Oh. It was like, anyhow, you know.
Hello, Dr. Marcia. So we've just been talking about the importance and the power that comes from reading, and how important it is to read to your children, to your grandchildren. The benefits for children are comfort, reassurance, confidence, security, relaxation, happiness, and fun. The bond of having your full attention, which in this day and age is almost unheard of. It builds self-esteem. It builds vocabulary. It feeds your imagination, and it improves your sleep patterns. Let's do it. Let's find a book that you like the look of, or they like the look of, if they're old enough to point, and let them start. Sit with them, show them. And that time is so important. As latchkey kid, it was an integral part of growing up. Absolutely. Books were so important, Jay. That I was a latchkey kid. I know that. Definitely. Treasure Island, Charles Dickens. Yeah. Oh, Robert Dickens. Treasure Island.
Yeah, that was Charles Dickens. You know.
Yeah, Charles Dickens.
I read some of those.
No, it wasn't, was it? Treasure Island was Rudyard Kipling, wasn't it?
I'm not that good.
Wasn't it?
The one by very
Gosh,
quickly.
you know what? That could be one of those questions. Omar, I hope you're not listening.
I almost going to ask you about American history and Mexican culture.
He always does. He confuses me.
No, I was like,
and the Bible. The Bible is full of stories that are so beautifully written for children as well. Absolutely. And that's an interesting point, that I can remember having the Bible at night and reading from the Bible, and we were told what to read or when to read, or that was just the rules of, because I was at a convent. But the point was that it was really important, because a parent or an adult might get one thing from them, but a child will get something very different. And it's really interesting when you've got that same piece from the Bible and you take two different messages from it. But as long as you're taking a positive message, it can only be good.
Yes, I might argue that most books that we're talking about, they are, essentially based on stories from the Bible in a sense. It's the same message, right? Especially in our society. Say that it's about resilience, mindset, communicating, finding your sense of purpose and doing good. And good always wins over evil. That's why I don't watch films. I know what's going to happen. Good's going to win. So it's same in most books, really. To be fair, that's my personal take. I could be wrong, but I'm sure it is, right?
Did you have a book, Natalie? Did you have a book, Nat, that you like to have read to you as well? Because it's as much about you reading as them reading to you. So I love the fact that you have a completely eclectic set of ideas. Who did I say wrote Treasure Island? Did I get the point? Did I say Robert Stevenson?
Or Charles Dickens.
Stevenson?
Robert Stevenson?
Treasure Island was Robert Stevenson.
Okay, superb. Again, learn something new again today for that. Of course, look, we're about to wind down, my friends. When parents read to children, it builds their world. Exactly that, my friend. Exactly
Absolutely.
That.
Absolutely. Creativity, imagination, right from wrong, so many things. Absolutely.
Sorry. Junior Encyclopedia Britannica. I mentioned that earlier, Jay. That was my easy reading, not the junior, the adult one. I would get tested questions afterwards, which is never pleasant, but we try, right? We try, and we all get here somehow. We didn't all get here the same way. I'm saying, Did any of that, what we might call hardship, make me who I am today? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I say so.
Yeah. So so my days is reading in Encyclopedia Britannica. They're what they are, right? Michelle says Treasure Island is my oldest son's favorite book. Thank you so much, everyone. There's many more comments, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, my next event is my What If event in 50 minutes. So we're going to talk about how do you get money to fund your bold idea. Yeah, I'm going to tell you how to get money, right? Loads of money. You believe that, you believe anything. You know me better than that, Paulette. Everyone knows. Yeah, you must know me better than that. I'm going to tell you some of the truths about what money in business really looks like. I'll tell you how to get money, of course I will. But I think there's more. I'll tell you the truth about why us wanting money in business, what it takes to get the
Are we
money into
talking about investment?
all those things, investments, loans, blah blah blah. But I'm not. That's about 30-second part of my conversation, Paulette. There's a lot more to wanting money. Yeah, that's it. You suddenly get it. You suddenly understand where I'm going with it.
See, yeah, dies a pound clock. Yeah, I know. Penny's dropped.
Join me. Let's talk about money in your business, my friends, right?
I will be there.
Excellent. Because when I was small, my understanding was literally consciousness. We'll see you. Look, my friends, thank you so much for being here. So we've done our hour and 52 minutes. Even though we were
putting up with us.
Late, I think we're 15 minutes late, right? My friends on YouTube, please like today's video. Please like the video. Comment. Your comments.
And it's on Global.Media. Excuse me, can you tell them where they find it? Global.Media. Because there's Global.Media. There's Global.Media.com. Don't go there. You want Global.Media because I went to the wrong one and couldn't find you.
Okay, no, but that's you trying to search. The fact that they're commenting and we can see it means that they're on my YouTube channel. I'm hoping, right?
And they've got no excuse.
Yeah, so like the video. Make sure you leave a comment and subscribe, please. I need to build my YouTube channel. I will do one day, be my focus so I can monetize. Linda, thank you so much, everyone. So Michelle's that came up on stage.
Take care. Thank you.
Paulette, you're the star. My friends, let's connect. Please do check out the Jack and Waters series. Check out the series. If any more kids who can benefit, share with them. Do the right thing, my friends. My son's come home from school. I'm going to play your video.
Go and give him his voucher.
Yeah, Natalie says her favorite was C.S. Lewis.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Yes.
Yeah. That always scared me by that. Just the concept of
Terry Pratchett. They're Charles's favorite. Well, word.
Terry
Pratchett has got all them upstairs.
Many people in your wardrobe. Anyway, my friends, thank you so much. You're superstars. I know who's in the private chat. Okay, well, let's talk.
Take care. Thank you. See you in the next one.
Bye, everyone. So enjoy the Jack and Water video. In case you're wondering why you need this, why your kids need it, why your friends' kids need it, why people at school need it as well. Bye, Paulette. Bye, everyone. Enjoy.
Bye, everybody.
Ooh.
I wake up to the morning light, nervous butterflies in flight. First day at school, a brand new place. Jelly belly worries I can't erase. Mom says, be brave, but I'm not sure what's behind that classroom door. Walter whispers, stand up tall. You've got this, kid, just give it your all. So I smile, I stand, I walk like I'm strong. Even though I'm wobbly, I play along. On the buddy bench, there's room for two. and maybe I'll find a friend like you. Be brave, stand tall, that's all it takes. Even a shy kid can catch a break. I sit alone, hands in my coat, holding Walter's card like a secret note. Be brave, it says, and be strong too. But my tummy's all gray, no yellow or blue. Then a boy shows up with a grin so wide, says, "Hi, I'm Henry, can I sit by your side?" Watch it crunch and we start to joke. That's the moment the ice finally broke. So I smile, I stand, I walk like I'm strong. Even though I'm wobbly, I play along. On the buddy bench, there's room for two, and maybe I'll find a friend like you. Be brave, stand tall, that's all it takes. Even a shy kid can catch a break. It's okay to feel a little small, like a basketball player afraid to fall. Walter said, put your smile in place. Courage can show on your happy face. And step by step, I start to see I'm not so alone with Henry and me. So I smile, I stand, I walk like I'm strong. Even though I'm wobbly, I play along. On the buddy bench, there's room for two, and maybe I'll find a friend like you. Be brave, stand tall, that's all it takes. Even a shy kid can catch a break. Now I've got Henry and Walter too. Turns out being brave brings something new. First days are tough, but I made it through. And maybe the buddy bench can work for you. Whisper.